Most men will die with their potential still locked inside them, not because life was too hard, but because their minds were too soft. The world is not against you, your own weakness is. You were born to be a weapon, but life made you a pillow. Today we tear that softness out by the roots. Today you build a mind so unbreakable it scares the world, and it scares even you. Weakness is a disease, not of the body, of the mind. Most men rot from the inside because nobody ever taught them the truth. They were taught to chase comfort, approval, feelings. But the world doesn't respect comfortable men. It devours them. The world bows to strength, and real strength starts in the mind. Not the kind of strength that flexes on Instagram. Kind that faces betrayal, loss, death, poverty, humiliation, and never blinks. That's the mind you must build. That's the mind that wins. That's the mind that earns respect without asking for it. That's the mind that scares people because they can't control it. If you can hear me right now, it means you're meant to be more. You wouldn't be here otherwise. Comment below, strong mind. Because today, you will start the process of becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Number 1. Pain is your greatest weapon. If you can hear my voice right now, it's because there's a part of you that refuses to die quietly, a part of you that still remembers what you were born for, and you need to know that every second you spend running from pain, hiding from it, denying it, numbing it with distractions, you are handing your power away. You are leaking your soul one drop at a time. You are living small when you were built for something so much bigger. And I'm telling you right now, pain is not the enemy. Pain is your training ground, your sharpening stone, your proving fire. And if you do not step into it voluntarily every single day, it will hunt you down and own you. It will come for you when you are weakest, when you are least ready, when you have the most to lose, and it will break you because you were too soft to stand up to it. So stop fooling yourself thinking you can outrun it. Stop lying to yourself saying one day you'll be ready, because life doesn't give a warning when it hits. And the only way you will survive is if you choose pain on your own terms first. You start by seeking it, not fleeing it, and you harden your mind the way iron is hardened in fire, not once but every day without excuse. You start today, you start right now, because if you don't, you'll wake up one day, a broken man wondering where all your dreams went, wondering why you collapsed the moment life stopped being comfortable, wondering why nobody respects you and nothing you want ever seems to come your way. So hear this and hear it clear. Every piece of pain you are facing right now is an invitation to build something nobody can take from you. And the only way to build it is to confront pain head-on, to lean into it when every fiber of your body screams to run, because that's the moment you are choosing who you become. That's the moment you are forging the steel inside you that no setback, no betrayal, no failure can touch. And if you keep avoiding it, you're not living, you're just existing, waiting for the day life finishes you off without a fight. So start where you are. If you're waking up every morning dreading the job you hate, but staying because it's easy, that is the first battle. Wake up earlier than you want to. Lift weights heavier than you think you can. Sweat harder than you believe you can endure, because every rep you don't want to do is one more brick in the foundation of a mind that cannot be broken. And if you're struggling to pay your bills, drowning in anxiety, wondering how you're going to survive another month, don't collapse. Don't retreat into distraction. Don't smoke it away. Don't drink it away. Don't Netflix it away. Instead, use that fear as fuel. Stand in the middle of your problems and attack them. Budget harder. Work longer. Sacrifice comforts you think you need but really don't. Wake up before the sun and build skills that make you valuable because nobody is coming to save you. And if you're dealing with a breakup, heart bleeding, feeling like you lost everything, don't beg for her back. Don't spiral into sadness thinking you weren't enough. Realize that this is your chance to build a version of yourself that nobody will ever think they can walk away from again. Hit the gym harder, read more books, build your mission so strong that women are drawn to you like gravity instead of you chasing them out of desperation. And when friends betray you, when family doubts you, when co-workers mock you, don't waste energy hating them. Use their doubt as proof you are doing something worth fearing. Silence them with results. Bury them under your success. Make their laughter turn into silence when they see what you've become, and when you're exhausted, when you have nothing left, when your body says stop and your mind says quit. That is the exact second you must push one step further, because every man can fight when it's easy. But the ones who become legends are the ones who fight when every voice inside says it's over. The ones who rise again when the world expects them to stay down. And you need to understand, this is not something you master once and it's done. It's a daily war inside your own mind. A daily choice to say yes to pain instead of hiding from it. Because the man who seeks pain becomes the man who commands life instead of being commanded by it. And if you want real examples, look at the man who wakes up when he doesn't feel like it and hits the gym. Not because he's motivated, but because he refuses to be weak. The man who chooses to study at midnight after a 10-hour shift instead of numbing out with a screen because he knows future power is bought today with sacrifice. The man who says no to the easy party, the easy pleasure, the easy escape because he knows the pleasure of victory tastes better than the pleasure of momentary comfort. And you need to become that man starting now. You need to recognize every second you feel uncomfortable is the gym for your mind. Every minute of stress is a chance to build strength. Every setback is a test to see if you're serious about your goals or just another pretender. And you need to stop thinking of pain as something to endure and start seeing it as something to conquer. Every time you push through when you want to quit, you're becoming someone nobody can break. And every time you cave to weakness, you're killing your potential a little more. So here's where you start. Identify one thing every day that makes you uncomfortable and do it immediately, without delay, without negotiation, whether it's a hard conversation you're avoiding, a workout you're dreading, a risk you're afraid to take. Do it now, not tomorrow, because tomorrow doesn't come for the weak, and you must stop giving yourself exit doors. No more, I'll start Monday. No more, I'll do it when I feel ready. Because you will never feel ready. The fear doesn't leave, the pain doesn't leave, but you become stronger than them. And if you're serious about building a mind so strong it scares people, you must live in the zone of discomfort every day until it becomes home. Because if you make comfort your master, you will die full of regrets nobody will care about. But if you make pain your weapon, you will live in a way that makes the earth shake when you move. Not because you wanted it easy, but because you chose it hard, because you chose to be the rare man who says, I will not run, I will not hide, I will face it all and become something you cannot understand. And if you want proof it works, just look around. Every man you admire, every man you respect, every man who leaves a mark on this world, is a man who shook hands with pain and said, I will make you my ally. Because while others were sleeping, he was grinding. While others were complaining, he was building. While others were giving up, he was pressing forward. And now they live at the mercy of life, and he lives by his own code. So ask yourself right now, when the world turns its back on you, when life pushes you into the dirt, will you lay there and cry, or will you rise up harder, colder, sharper? And if you truly want to build a mind so strong it scares people, stop making pain your enemy and start making it your fuel. Stop hoping for an easy life and start preparing for a hard one. Because the man who prepares for hardship is unbeatable when it comes. And if you're sitting there thinking it's too late, thinking you're too broken, thinking you've already failed too much, listen carefully. It is never too late to make the decision to stop running and start conquering. It is never too late to become the kind of man who others look at with awe and wonder. It is never too late to choose greatness over mediocrity, and every second you waste doubting yourself is a second you could spend building yourself. So get up, take one brutal, honest look at your life, strip away the lies, the excuses, the self-pity, and start stacking wins, small or big. Stack them every single day, because those wins become the walls of your mental fortress. They become the unshakable strength people fear and admire at the same time. And it all starts now, in this very moment, with a decision so deep and so serious that no weakness will ever break it again. Number 2. Emotional control is ultimate power. If you cannot master your emotions will master you. And when they master you, you are no longer a man. You are a slave to every passing feeling, a puppet whose strings are pulled by the slightest winds of life. And the brutal truth is, most men live and die as slaves to emotions they never even tried to control. They rage when they are hurt. They collapse when they are afraid. They betray their own values when they are tempted. They lash out when they are frustrated. They hide when they feel shame. And every single time they react instead of respond, they lose a little more of their own life. They give their power away. They let life beat them like a drum without ever fighting back. But the men who truly win, the men who rise above, the men who are remembered, are the men who control themselves when every nerve inside screams otherwise, because emotional control is the ultimate power. It is the lever that moves everything else. It is the invisible crown that turns a boy into a king. And if you want to build a mind so strong it scares people, you must start by mastering yourself so completely that no insult, no betrayal, no loss, no fear, no desire can shake you off your path. Because life will test you, people will betray you, dreams will collapse, plans will fall apart. And the man who loses his mind at every storm dies without ever tasting real greatness, while the man who stays calm, calculated, composed in the middle of hell, forges a life others can only dream about. And you must understand this deeply. Emotions are not bad. Emotions are not enemies. Emotions are signals. But you must never let the signal drive the machine. You must learn to feel everything and still choose your action rationally, because the measure of a man is not what he feels. It's what he does despite what he feels. And if you need to know where to begin, begin here. Every single time you feel anger rise up in you, you pause, you breathe, and you refuse to speak or move until you choose your words like a king issuing a decree instead of a child throwing a tantrum. And every time fear grips your chest, you do not retreat, you do not hide. You recognize fear as a test of your soul's weight, and you lean into it. You move forward anyway, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of fear. And when sadness tries to drown you, you do not sink into self-pity or isolation. You allow yourself to grieve if you must, but you keep moving, you keep doing, because sadness can visit, but it must never command you. And when temptation whispers promises of easy pleasure in your ear, you do not surrender like a boy. You stand like a man, recognizing that fleeting pleasure is the currency of failure. And you deny yourself the easy path because you see the long road ahead, and you refuse to trade greatness for a few moments of weakness. And this is not about pretending you are a robot. It is about becoming a fortress. It is about feeling everything but being ruled by nothing. It is about practicing the principles of Stoicism, not just when it's convenient, but when it's hardest, when your pride is wounded, when your heart is broken, when your reputation is attacked, because that is when real strength is revealed. And if you study the Stoics, if you truly understand Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, you will see a common thread. Their greatness did not come from what they controlled in the world. It came from what they controlled inside themselves. Marcus Aurelius buried his children, faced betrayal in his court, fought endless wars on crumbling borders, lived every day knowing he could be poisoned or assassinated, and yet he wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Because he knew, and you must know, that the real battlefield is always within, not outside, and if you win there, you win everywhere. But if you lose there, nothing outside can ever save you. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, you must not just hope to feel better, you must decide to act better. You must start building the muscle of emotional control like you would build strength in your body, daily, deliberately, ruthlessly, and it starts in small ways. When someone cuts you off in traffic and you want to rage, you instead laugh and focus on your destination. When your boss disrespects you and you want to snap back, you instead hold your posture, look him in the eye, and let your actions earn respect, not your ego. When life disappoints you and every voice inside says to quit, you instead thank life for giving you a chance to grow stronger where others would have broken. Because emotional control is about making the higher choice again and again until it becomes your nature, until calmness in chaos is your default. And the men who achieve this become terrifying because nothing moves them. They cannot be provoked, they cannot be manipulated, they cannot be broken. And the world, not understanding how they remain so steady when everything else falls apart, begins to fear them, begins to respect them, begins to follow them, because deep down every man longs to be like that. But few have the discipline to build it. And if you want real examples, think of the man who after being fired doesn't explode, doesn't wallow, but instead sharpens his skills, works in silence, and returns to the world stronger than before. Think of the man who after being betrayed by someone he trusted doesn't waste months stewing in revenge fantasies, but cuts the loss cleanly and builds a life so great the betrayer becomes irrelevant. Think of the man whose girlfriend leaves him, and instead of begging or crumbling into self-loathing, he levels up every part of his existence until he no longer even recognizes the man who was left behind. And you must become that man. You must recognize that every emotion you experience is a chance to either chain yourself to weakness or free yourself into strength. And when the pressure is highest, when the insults cut deepest, when the temptations are strongest, that is when you either rise or fall. That is when your future is decided, not in the easy moments, but in the crucible of your own soul's fire. And every time you choose reason over impulse, every time you choose patience over rage, every time you choose discipline over pleasure, you are building a mind that nothing can shake, and it will not be easy. You will fail sometimes. You will slip. You will fall, but you do not wallow there. You rise again, you recommit, you carve deeper the groove of strength into your character, and over time you will find that things that once rattled you now amuse you, insults that once wounded you now glance off you, fears that once paralyzed you now drive you. And that is when you know you are becoming truly dangerous, truly unstoppable, truly free, because no man who is a slave to his emotions is free. No man who cannot control his impulses controls his life, and the only true freedom is mastery over self. And this mastery must be fought for, must be claimed daily, must be treated like the most sacred mission of your life, because without it, all your talents, all your intelligence, all your advantages mean nothing. And with it, even if you have nothing else, you can build anything you desire. And if you want to begin today, commit to this one practice. Every time an emotion surges in you, pause for 3 seconds, breathe deep into your core and ask yourself, what would the man I am trying to become do right now? And then act accordingly, not according to the emotion, but according to the vision of your best self. And if you practice this ruthlessly, day after day, in every area of your life, you will find that you no longer live on a roller coaster controlled by others. You live on a mountain built by your own hands, unmoved, unshaken, unbreakable, and men will wonder how you do it. Women will wonder how you stay so calm. Enemies will wonder why you do not fall, and you will know the truth, that it was built moment by moment, choice by choice, discipline by discipline, and that ultimate power has always been and always will be control over yourself. Number 3. Comfort is the true enemy. Comfort is the greatest lie ever sold to men because it comes disguised as peace, but it rots your soul slowly from the inside. It tells you you're okay where you are when every fiber of your being knows you were meant for more, and the brutal reality is that comfort will not just slow you down, it will destroy you. It will erase everything inside you that could have been great. It will put you to sleep while your life slips away minute by minute. And if you do not wake up and declare war on comfort, it will own you and turn you into the man you swore you'd never become. The man who dreams at night but does nothing during the day. The man who talks about what he could have been, but is too ashamed to look himself in the mirror. And you need to realize that every time you choose comfort over growth, every time you choose convenience over effort, you are making a silent agreement with mediocrity, and mediocrity never announces itself loudly. It creeps in quietly, one skipped workout at a time, one ignored opportunity at a time, one indulgent, lazy morning at a time, until one day you wake up and realize you wasted it all. So if you want to become the kind of man who builds a mind so strong it scares people, you must start by rejecting comfort like a poison that it is. You must build habits that make comfort uncomfortable and struggle familiar, because a man who only acts when he feels like it is a man who will never achieve anything worth respecting. And if you want to know exactly where to start, you start by examining your daily life under a microscope and being brutally honest about where you are choosing easy over hard, because it's in the tiny moments that men are made or destroyed. When you hit snooze in the morning because 5 more minutes feels better than discipline. When you order takeout for the 3rd night in a row because cooking seems too hard. When you waste another hour scrolling through meaningless feeds because facing your goals feels overwhelming. Those small comforts stack into a life of regret, and the only way out is through radical action. You must make your life harder on purpose, not because you hate yourself, but because you love who you are becoming. And that starts by identifying your comfort addictions right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, and setting fire to them. Because if you waste your 20s, you pay for it in your 30s. If you waste your 30s, you pay for it in your 40s. And if you waste your 40s, you die with nothing but memories of what could have been. And every day you delay is a day you will never get back. So start by doing what uncomfortable men avoid. Wake up earlier than you need to, not because it's magical, but because it trains you to beat your weaker self before the world even has a chance. Go to the gym even when you're exhausted, because strength isn't about lifting weights. It's about proving to yourself that your body serves your mind, not the other way around. Read real books instead of numbing yourself with endless entertainment, because sharpening your mind is an act of rebellion against the mediocrity that the modern world is desperate to trap you in. Save money instead of buying things to impress people who don't care, because financial discipline is freedom and spending money you don't have is slavery in disguise. Speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable, because cowards live fake lives and kings face reality as it is. And if you are stuck in a dead-end job barely making rent and drowning in bills, do not comfort yourself with distractions or pity. Get uncomfortable enough to get angry at your situation. Get uncomfortable enough to upgrade your skills at night while everyone else numbs out. Get uncomfortable enough to work on your side hustle after hours, to learn new trades, to build value that the market demands. Because the market does not care about your dreams or your tears. It only cares about your value, and the only way you build value is by embracing discomfort day after day, until you start moving so aggressively toward your future that life cannot ignore you. And if you are trapped in a life where every day feels the same, where you wake up, work a job you hate, come home exhausted, and kill your soul with meaningless dopamine hits just to make it to the next miserable morning, the answer is not another vacation, another cheat day, another distraction. The answer is to look your life in the face with brutal honesty and say enough. I will no longer live soft. I will no longer lie to myself about what it takes. I will no longer sell my soul for comfort when greatness demands sacrifice. And if you are overweight, if you are broke, if you are weak, if you are lost, it is not because you are unlucky. It is because you have made too many comfortable choices in a row, and now you are paying the price. But the good news is, the moment you start choosing discomfort on purpose is the moment you start taking your life back piece by piece, day by day. And discomfort does not mean reckless suffering. It means controlled hardship. It means choosing the cold shower when you crave warmth, choosing the extra rep when your muscles scream to quit, choosing the extra hours of learning when your brain wants easy escape, choosing real conversations about your future when small talk would feel safer, choosing to invest your money instead of wasting it on dopamine junk food for your ego, because every time you choose discomfort now, you buy yourself a life of options later. While every time you choose comfort now, you sell your future for a few minutes of ease. And the truth that nobody wants to hear is that most men are broke, fat, bitter, lonely, depressed. Not because life is unfair, but because they chose comfort so often that now discomfort owns them, and they don't know how to escape. But you do not have to be one of them. You can start now by embracing the truth that every hard thing you do makes you stronger, and every easy thing you do makes you weaker. And it starts today, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, but today. You wake up an hour earlier even if you're tired. You work out harder even if you're sore. You study longer even if you're distracted. You take the risk even if you're scared. Because life belongs to the men who lean into the storm while others seek shelter. Life rewards the men who are comfortable being uncomfortable, who live so deeply in their mission that temporary pleasure holds no power over them. And if you do this day after day, if you make discomfort your default setting, you will find something extraordinary happens. You stop being afraid of life. You stop feeling helpless when challenges come. You start moving through the world with a power that others can feel but cannot understand, because they have spent their whole lives chasing comfort, and you have spent yours chasing growth. And that difference will make you unstoppable, untouchable, unforgettable. The kind of man who does not bend, who does not break, who does not beg, who walks through fire and builds a life that makes mediocrity look like the nightmare it truly is. And you will know in your heart, every time someone says you were lucky or naturally strong, that it wasn't luck, it wasn't natural. It was the choice, made every single day, to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing, to walk the hard road instead of the soft one. And that choice, repeated thousands of times, made you the kind of man whose very existence makes others rethink what's possible for themselves. Number 4. Master the art of self-discipline. Self-discipline is not a side skill you pick up when convenient. It is the spine of everything you will ever build, and if you do not master it, you will live and die at the mercy of your weakest impulses, never realizing the man you could have been. And the truth most men refuse to face is that discipline is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It is not something you do when you feel inspired. It is something you do, especially when you feel nothing at all. When your mind is numb, your body is tired, and your spirit feels crushed. That is when real discipline shows itself, and you must stop thinking. Discipline is about being harsh to yourself. It's about being loyal to the vision of the man you are trying to become, and loyalty to that future version of you must be greater than loyalty to your current feelings, because your feelings will betray you every day. They will tell you to stay in bed when you need to rise. They will tell you to cheat when you need to stay true. They will tell you to give up when you need to push forward. And if you obey them, you are giving up the only thing that matters: the chance to live a life worthy of your potential. And if you want to know how to start mastering discipline, you must begin with one commitment today. Set one non-negotiable standard for yourself and refuse to break it, no matter how you feel, because discipline is not built through motivation. It is built through repetition under pressure, and the reason most men fail is not because they don't know what to do. It's because they don't do it when it's hard, when it's boring, when nobody is watching, when there's no applause, when there's no immediate reward. But if you can master yourself in the dark, when it's just you against you, you will own yourself in the light, and you must make your mind a place where excuses die instantly, where negotiation with laziness is not even an option. And that means structuring your life in a way where you leave no room for weakness to creep in. It means setting strict rules and living by them with the seriousness of a man whose life depends on it, because it does. It means not letting yourself touch your phone until after your most important work is done. It means training your body even when you're exhausted, because weakness tolerated becomes weakness accepted. It means sticking to your plan even when temptation offers you 100 easier paths. It means telling yourself every single day, I don't listen to my feelings, I listen to my standards. And you must build your days like bricks, one disciplined choice stacked perfectly on top of the other, until they form a fortress so strong no bad day, no setback, no temptation can break it. And you must understand that self-discipline is not about being robotic. It's about being free. Because the man without discipline is a slave to every craving, every distraction, every whim, while the man who has discipline commands his destiny, and you can see it in every part of life. The man who disciplines his body commands strength while others make excuses about genetics. The man who disciplines his mind commands opportunity while others drown in doubt. The man who disciplines his emotions commands relationships while others self-sabotage and blame the world. And if you are stuck, if you feel like your life is not moving, the answer is not more thinking, not more planning. It is more disciplined doing. It is setting a clear goal and then acting toward it daily with brutal honesty. Tracking your progress without emotion, correcting your failures without self-pity, moving forward without hesitation, and if you need a real example, if you want to get fit but have failed 1,000 times, discipline is not signing up for a fancy gym and feeling good about yourself for 1 week. It's waking up when your muscles ache, prepping your meals when you're tired, hitting your training session when your mind screams no, and doing it until it becomes a part of you. And if you want to level up your career, discipline is not dreaming about passive income or watching endless success videos. It's mastering a skill daily, taking responsibility for your results without blaming luck, setting deadlines and hitting them even when life throws distractions in your face, because there are no shortcuts for men who want real freedom. There are only those who master themselves and those who are ruled by everything around them. And you must ask yourself honestly every night before you sleep, did I win over myself today? Did I beat the voice that wanted to quit? Did I honor the man I am becoming? And if the answer is no, you do not wallow, you do not make excuses. You correct it the next morning with even greater ruthlessness, because discipline is not built on perfect days. It is built on hard days, on days you don't feel like it. And every time you conquer those days, you carve another piece of greatness into your character until one day you realize you no longer have to force yourself. You are disciplined by nature, unmovable, unshakable, unstoppable, and when that day comes, there will be no obstacle you cannot move through, no mountain you cannot climb, no future you cannot build, because you will have mastered the only battlefield that ever mattered, yourself. Number 5. Build a mind no one can shake. Building a mind no one can shake is not about pretending to be strong on the outside while you crumble on the inside. It's about creating a fortress within so powerful, so steady, so grounded that nothing in the world can move you without your permission. And the brutal truth most men never hear is that life will never be fair. Success will never be easy. Loyalty will never be guaranteed. And if you base your strength on external things, on money, on approval, on relationships, on comfort, you are building your life on sand, doomed to collapse when the storms come, and the storms will come. But the man who builds his mind on the bedrock of inner control, who trains his thoughts like a general trains soldiers, who sees every challenge as a chance to sharpen his will rather than a reason to fall apart, that man becomes untouchable. And if you want to know exactly how to start, it begins with this ruthless practice. Stop reacting emotionally to things outside your control. Stop giving your peace away to every inconvenience, every betrayal, every setback, and instead, develop the habit of immediate perspective. When something goes wrong, before your emotions can hijack you, you ask yourself, does this deserve my peace? Does this change my mission? And if the answer is no, you move forward without complaint, without drama, without wasting a second, because the strongest mind is not the one that never feels. It's the one that feels everything and still remains loyal to the mission. And you must learn to expect hardship the way a boxer expects punches. Not with fear, not with surprise, but with readiness. And when it hits, you smile because you were built for this, and you respond not with rage or panic, but with strategic calmness. Because every time you stay calm under pressure, every time you refuse to be shaken by life's chaos, you are sending a message not just to the world, but to yourself, that you are the master here. And if you want a real-world example, when you are facing financial pressure so intense that you don't know how you're going to survive another month, you don't break down, you sit down, you strategize, you find a way to bring more value to the world, you tighten your belt, you sacrifice luxuries without complaint, and you attack the problem without letting fear dictate your actions. And when you are betrayed by someone you trusted, you do not spiral into bitterness or vengeance. You accept reality quickly, cut them out cleanly, learn the lesson, and move forward colder but wiser. Because the man who lets betrayal break his mind becomes a permanent prisoner of someone else's actions, and you must never allow that. And when dreams you worked years for collapse overnight, you must not let grief paralyze you. You rebuild immediately. You find a new strategy. You pivot ruthlessly, because a mind that is unshakable is a mind that understands the game of life is not about avoiding pain. It's about adapting faster than pain can destroy you. And if you train yourself to adapt, to stay grounded, to think instead of react, to act instead of whine, you will become a force that life itself cannot break. And this is not something you master once and forget. It is a daily discipline, a daily training of your thoughts, a daily rejection of victimhood, because you are not a victim unless you choose to be, and you must choose every day to be the builder, the strategist, the commander of your own life. And over time, as you master this, you will find that people start to notice. They will notice how you stay calm when others panic, how you stay focused when others are distracted, how you stay powerful when others fold, and they will wonder what your secret is. But you will know there was no secret. It was the daily work, the ruthless training, the decision repeated 1,000 times to be a master of yourself instead of a victim of life. And when you become that man, the storms can come, the betrayals can come, the failures can come, and you will stand, unshaken, unmoved, unstoppable. And the world, not understanding how you do it, will respect you, fear you, and some will even hate you. But none will be able to deny that you became the rarest of things in this world. A man who owns himself fully and therefore owns a life few will ever taste. If you have listened this far, it's because you were never meant for an ordinary life. You know it. I know it. Comfort tried to break you. Distraction tried to bury you. Fear tried to own you. But you're still here, and now it's time to make a choice. Either die as another forgotten man who ran from pain, or live as the man who owned it and built an unshakable mind that the world could not ignore. The future is yours. Take it. If this woke something up inside you, don't let it die. Comment below, I am unbreakable. Support this channel, not for me, but for every man out there who needs this truth before it's too late. Like, subscribe, and share it. Because we're not just building better men, we're building men the world will never forget.